Hello and welcome to the channel. Please subscribe and comment below to help the channel. Today's story is Daytime Star. Please enjoy. Kang Seung-hyun called her name, making her. She turned and saw it was her senior. Kang Hyun was staring at her without saying a word while Yura just wiped her tears. Senior Kang Seung-hyun? She was screaming in her mind, but she was too embarrassed to say anything in front of him. She stood up and said, that. Nice to meet you, senior, while tucking her hair behind her ear. I am Hwang Yura, playing the role of Susie. Sorry, senior, for greeting a bit late, she said while gathering some courage. Yura was done introducing her and greeting him and was waiting for his reply, but he was lost in some thoughts. Kang Hyun immediately knew that she was the girl he thought. Anyway, how can he treat her like this in this cold weather? Look how pale her face is. But that director, Yu, met at Moran's marriage. He was just staring at her while Yura was looking down. It was the same as a year ago. Why do I keep letting him see this side of mine? She thought, Miss Hwang Yura? He called while picking her coat from the ground and removing the dust on it. Yes, she instantly replied. Your coat is dropped, while wrapping the coat around her. Yura's face was red, and she thanked him while pausing. Maybe it's because her mouth is frozen, so she can't speak clearly. If she keeps like this, there will be problems when they film, he thought. Miss Hwang Yura. The director's place is over there, so if you're going to take a shower, just go over there and do it, he said while pointing towards the rooms. I'm fine, thank you. I don't feel like that to the director, while shaking her hand. He thought that she was angry with the director. Don't worry, I understand how you feel. While crossing his arms, Yura was just trying to say no, but he thought maybe she was scared. Can't just let things be like this. I'll go and ask the director directly, he said while leaving, but Yura grabbed his hand and said, Please don't, senior, a little loud. Hearing her voice, he smiled that her throat was better now while turning his head, but he noticed that she was very familiar and pulled his face closer to her, making her face all red. But before he could say something, Jin Kyung came running towards them. Good you're here, Jin Kyung said while letting out a sigh. Kang Hyun said hello, and she was shocked to see him. To her, he was beaming like a sun, but not losing her dignity. She cleared her throat and said hello, and Kang Hyun bowed. She told him that she was her manager, making him nod. She held Yura's hand and pulled her, saying that the director was looking for her, and took her away while Kang Hyun was just staring at them with a blank expression. Yura turned and said, Senior then, excuse me first. Hwang Yura. Why did she look embarrassed on Moran's wedding day, he thought. He immediately remembered helping her. She's that girl, he mumbled. So today counts as our third meeting. I don't know what's wrong with her, but she always cried every time we met while smiling, and went to the shooting set. I'm sorry to have kept you all waiting, director. She apologized. Why, you still have 1 minute left. Why didn't you take your time to show by then? The director said in an arrogant tone. She once again apologized. I heard that it's been 7 years since your debut, he said, while Yura just nodded and replied with yes. So, just saying you've been doing this for 7 years is enough? Yeah, I already have 7 years of experience, so people like directors and all can wait. I'm tired and I must rest first, he said. He was just constantly insulting her, even though it was the first time making this mistake, but she didn't say anything. I've seen a lot of people like you. Just because they've debuted for years, they think that they're special. While lighting up a cigarette, but before he could say anything else, someone snatched it, making him furious. He turned to see who it was. He was about to swear, but didn't say anything, knowing that it was none other than Kang Seung-hyun. Why would you vent your anger on someone else? I told you to get rid of Kim Jung-woo to bring back Chang Hyun, didn't I? Kang Hyun said while placing a cigarette in his mouth. Excuse me, Kang Seung-hyun, you refused the role yourself. Why are you here to mess around? Director shouted. I should be the one to ask that question. You could have had some scenes taken with that much time, he said. This is what a person who refused the role would say, Director said while snatching back the cigar from Kang Seung-hyun's hands, and told Yura to get ready for the shot. Yura went to prepare. Switch to this way of putting on airs. Humiliate the director to boast about yourself. The director said to Kang Hyun, Nope. If that was my intention, then I wouldn't have gone so easy on you, Kang replied. Cruel man, the director commented, making him smile. The director and Kang Hyun were friends and loved to fight with each other. Yura was getting prepared for the scene while Kang Seung-hyun was talking with the director about Yura. That girl who plays Susie, did she go to an acting school? Kang Seung-hyun asked. I don't know, maybe she's the one who auditioned for Hye Rim or something, the director replied. It's not like she's the only one. How can I remember them all? I had enough of a headache thanks to Chang Huin, so my assistant took care of it instead and chose her. Even those who debuted for 7 years could be mentally unstable in front of the camera, director said. Kang Seung-hyun was surprised and shocked to know that she had debuted for 7 years, but she didn't look like it. 7 years? That's a long time. But why haven't I seen her in any movie, he asked. I heard that she's played multiple supporting roles, but I still can't believe it, director said. And Kang Hyun asked him why, but he didn't say anything. Yura was very nervous and took a deep breath. Jin Kyun asked her if she was okay, but she replied that it's a good thing that she actually feels like dying right now. Jin Kyun was very sad. Looking at her expressions, she held her hand and said, You only need that kind of emotion now. Just for now, okay? And Yura nodded. I messed you completely thinking that I must not make a mistake in front of Kim Jong-woo. The feeling of wanting to do a good job will make me look like I have the will to live. I must recall the times I wanted to give up, she thought, and the shooting started. Yura was going into the sea. All the things that the director and her ex said were going through her head. Step by step, she was going into the sea. She wanted to give up and leave everything behind. Tears were running down her eyes. She didn't have any hope in her eyes. All the people witnessing the scene were shocked to see her on this side. Some of them pitied her while the director was amazed by her skill. This is not a gaze from a person that got 10 times NG, right? Kang Hyun said. The director didn't have any words and said, Let's wait and watch. Kang Seung-hyun was looking at her without saying anything and thought if she was just acting. The crew announced the cut, and the crew was very sure that she finally completed the shoot while her friend was just staring at her blank expressions. Why does she want to piss me off when she can do this well in the beginning? The director said and stood up. Kang Seung-hyun noticed Yura was just going into the sea, deeper without stopping like she really wanted to end her life, and she disappeared. Her friend and Kang Hyun immediately run towards her to stop her. Kang Seung-hyun went into the sea and saved her. He grabbed her hand and pulled her hand, grabbing her, and took her to the beach. And noticed she was unconscious. Her friend was crying and trying to wake her up while Kang Hyun was trying to get the water out of her. He quickly grabbed her chin and started giving her CPR lips to lips. After some time, she started coughing and woke up. Her vision was still blurry. Yura, are you awake yet? Can you see me? Kang Seung-hyun saved you. Now you're okay, her friend said and hugged her tightly. Senor, really? Yura said while extending her hand to Kang Seung-hyun. Kang Seung-hyun was just staring at her while she was trying to speak. Looking at her hand, he immediately grabbed her and said, Thanks me later, while smiling, but really salty. They both were surprised to hear her, and she immediately cried, saying that it was really salty. The smile on Kang Seung-hyun's immediately faded upon hearing her words and was just staring at her without any expression. Soon the crew and director advised them to change their clothes and go to rest as it was now late night. Kang Hyun returned to his room. His manager was in his room hearing some noises. He knew that he was back. You're home? Did everything go well with Director Yu? Huh? He noticed his messy state and wet clothes. He asked him what happened. Kang Seung-hyun started unbuttoning his clothes, saying, It's nothing. Sorry, but bring me some new clothes, please. His manager was very worried and started asking many questions at once, while Kang Hyun started going towards the bathroom to take a shower while ignoring him. He paused and started thinking about earlier. How did her voice come back to life after dying? He thought that she was very cute and started laughing loudly as he was holding back after all this time, and said, What a cute girl, leaving his manager shocked. But before he could ask anything, he went into shower. After coming back from the shower, he picked up the script and sat on the couch. What's wrong? Why are you taking the script? If the protest ends, take a shower and play in the film. That's what director Yu said. His manager asked, What? Do I have to stay up late? Have you ever seen him talk nonsense? Thanks to you, the person who thoroughly followed the plan has messed up today's schedule. That's why I have to stay up late, he said. Vertical bar, vertical bar. So, you want to stay up with me tonight? Kang Hyun asked, and his manager replied that he would see him off at the set. Kang Sung-hyuna and his manager went out of the hotel and they saw Jin Kyung near the hotel entrance talking with someone. Just enter room 205. Kang Seung-hyun had to film all night and some of the staff didn't come. She won't feel any inconvenience. Jin Kyung, thank you. Kang Sung-hyun heard their conversation and got in the middle of their conversation, making them startled. Kang, what? There's no room left at the inn. Someone, you surprised me. Why did you come here without making a sound? Hwang Yura had finished filming today and she was about to go back to her room. The new schedule was extended because you refused to complete your role. She started complaining to Kang Seung-hyun, making him guilty. He didn't know that a small decision would affect her. And after what happened today, he didn't want her to trouble her anymore. Kang, I'm sorry. Because of me. Miss Hwang Yura's schedule. Jin, it's okay. I would have any in trouble if Kang Sung-hyun hadn't helped me. Thank you very much. King, you don't have to say that, but is it okay if she doesn't go to the hospital? Jin, I said that I will. But if she told me that she is still fine, so it's okay if she didn't go to see a doctor. At first, she looked fine. Before she could complete her sentence, Yura called her, asking if the room was all right, but she noticed Kang and greeted him. Jin told her that they were talking about her making her cheeks bright red. The girls were talking while Kang was just staring at Yura and thought that she looked really good. Kang Hwang Yura, are you okay? Yura told him that she was fine and thanked him for saving her, and Kang apologized to Yura that she had to work for one more day because of him. Yura said that it was fine and she was really happy to film at the set for one more day, while smiling brightly towards him. Kang smiled, seeing her smile, and thought that she was full of energy. Kang, it'll be hard for you tomorrow if you catch a cold, so hurry get inside and take some rest. Yura bowed her head and thanked him, but suddenly she remembered something and asked Kang to wait for a bit and went to her car. She came back with a handkerchief in her hands that he gave her a year ago. Yura, do you remember? A year ago, you lent me this in a commercial filming set. Kang, I told you it's fine not to return it to me. Yura, but it looks very expensive. They both bowed to each other, thanking each other, but Yura continuously thanked him. Again and again, sometime later, Kang stopped her and asked her to rest. Kang's manager, Sung-hyun, let's go, the director called us. Kang and his manager left, leaving Jin Kyung and Yura at the entrance. Kang was talking with his manager about Yura, but suddenly his manager said that Jin Kyung's personality was good. Kang asked her who she was, and he told her that she was Yura's manager, and he started talking about her continuously while Kang was just nodding and saying yes. Kang stopped and told his manager that to go first, he'll catch up with him later, running back to the hotel. He came into Yura's room running furiously, and Yura noticed him breathing and heaving and asked him what happened, but he pulled the room keys out from his pocket. Yura, Senior, what are you talking about? Kang, I said sleep in my bedroom. Yura was trying to process what she just heard, but Kang called her name and said, will you take it tomorrow? Yura, I was wondering if I just heard something wrong. Kang, what did you hear? Yura, sleep in your room. Kang, so stop thinking, take it now. Yura thought something else and misunderstood him. She made a bad face and said that she is not that kind of person. Kang was taken aback and understood that she misunderstood him and thought he wanted to sleep with her. He tried clearing the misunderstanding, but Yura stopped him. Yura, I need to read the script. Could you please go out? Kang, Yura, I think you misunderstood something. Yura, please go out. Kang, anyway, the room is empty today, so go and relax with the manager. I'm filming all night today. It is because of me that the filming has been postponed until tomorrow, and I thought it would be difficult for you to control your condition today as it happened. Yura was very embarrassed and started looking down for misunderstanding him while he was just trying to help her. and King went out for his shooting, and Yura hid her face in script.